Today's episode stars The Rock, Wonder Woman, and the lovely Ryan Reynolds.
Wait, shouldn't that be like switched around?
I mean, I didn't write this. I mean, I'm married, and I know Randolph didn't write this either, because he's also married.
He's also married.
I'm sorry, I'm just
No. What's up, everyone?
I'm Leo,
And I'm Iz.
and welcome to the R&I podcast.
Welcome. Today
And
we
the
have a
news.
great show. We're going to be reviewing Red Notice, starring Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. The movie was written by and directed by the same person, Rawson Marcel Thurber. Sorry if I butchered your name. The story is basically about an FBI profiler, John Hartley, out to catch the most wanted art thief in the world. After a Red Notice was put out, enters Nolan Booth, who claims to be the best art thief in the world, who gets interrupted by the Bishop during one of his heists. After the Bishop places suspicion on John Hartley for being an accomplice to the heist, John and Nolan must team up to set things straight. Leo, let's talk about the movie.
Spoiler alert,
Lots of spoilers.
pretty much from the beginning to the end.
So many
Yeah,
spoilers.
so many.
It's like bad rice. I meant the spoilers. Okay, just letting you know.
Yeah.
I like this movie. I mean, it's not like your normal art, or I guess there's like how would I say it? There's not a lot of death. Was there a lot of death? I mean, there was a lot of stories of death, like what's that dude's name? The dude that got choked. I think his name is Sotto Voce.
Oh, yeah.
That
yeah.
guy. I guess his dad, or he shot his dad, and because when he was getting choked out by his dad,
Yeah.
and I thought I was like, what? And so I did a little bit of research on the actor. His name is Chris Diamantopoulos, and
Awesome last name.
he's been in cartoons as a voiceover.
Oh, really?
Actor, and he says that in Red Notice he actually had to figure out how to speak with accent, but the accent had to sound more from how his air pipes are damaged. So he sounds kind of like this, and he's just like he needs to breathe a little bit harder. And so I was just like, okay, interesting. But for me, he was the darkest character because he was an arms dealer.
Yeah.
And obviously, like the whole scene with him, where John Hartley and Nolan Booth were both together do the heist or whatever, and I don't know, he was apparently all those people that was at that same party was just as evil as he was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, that's probably the most like intense scene. And I mean, granted, there is a prison scene, but like for me, like I was surprised that there wasn't as many deaths or maybe like blood or whatnot. Only because like whenever I see like I guess Dwayne Johnson or Ryan Reynolds, you kind of expect some kind of form or some kind of violence from them. You know what I mean? Like some form of like, it's funny though, but like with The Rock though, it's a little bit like, or not The Rock. Well, I guess he doesn't go by the name. Apparently, I just found out. I've been calling him The Rock since I was a kid. So
Hey, you and me both.
I
mean, he's always going to be The Rock.
100%.
In my heart, he will always be The Rock.
Yep.
But
DJ.
I think from a actor's perspective, he's changed his name to his real name, Dwayne Johnson.
Right.
So.
Or he just like kind of like The Rock is silent.
Which is funny, right? Because when he first started, that's true. When he first started, it was The Rock, right? And as he got more famous in movies, it became Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And it's like, all right, we're gonna drop The Rock now. I think everybody knows who you are. It's Dwayne Johnson.
Exactly. And so yeah, like with him, like his the violence in there wasn't very high. So like when coming with Red Notice, I would think there's gonna be a lot of like marksman shooting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just more it was more fun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I kind of expected that, especially when I see three like A-list actors
Yeah.
all like come together to do an art thief styled movie. You know what I mean? I'm just like, well, I don't expect it to be like gory or anything like that because
Right.
it just looks cool. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
be a cool film.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it wasn't gory in any way. It was
Thriller. It wasn't even
it was
really
like
that
PG
thriller.
13
Yeah, yeah.
level
Like yeah, at the
violence.
cusp before PG. You know. I mean, you brought it up earlier before we started that they were they did have cussing, and I thought Dwayne was the one doing it, and you're like,
Doing,
no.
I'm pretty sure Ryan did more cursing or cussing in it than Dwayne did, but maybe they did a fair share amount of
Maybe,
it.
yeah. And his character, or Nolan Booth, Ryan Reynolds' character was interesting enough because he was supposedly the best, right? But
Self-proclaimed the best art thief,
you're,
art theft.
you're right. You're right. You're right. He didn't say he was, or like the world didn't say he was. Just he said he
He
was.
definitely thought he was.
And to be honest, I think he was better than uh, the Bishop or Gal Gadot because she had to follow him in order to get him all. You know what I'm saying?
True.
He had to follow him.
I mean, he found out. So I guess also like a part of the movie, the main story of this whole movie was about these three eggs that Cleopatra had, right, as gifts.
Yeah,
And
from
so
Mark Antony.
yeah, exactly. And then two of them were already displayed in different places. I think the guy you just talked about, the Russian dude.
Oh, Sotto Voce.
Yeah, Sotto Voce
Yeah.
had one of them, and then one was already like in a museum, and then the third one was like lost to history, and nobody knew where it was and whatever. But Nolan knew where it was, right?
Mhm.
Or what the bishop believed that Nolan knew where it was, right? So that was the whole point of the whole movie. Is like he's trying to get all three because if he gets all three eggs, I mean, he can then really call himself the best art thief that ever existed.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or of his time.
Mhm.
So that was the whole pretty much the premise of that movie for Nolan's perspective. He was trying to become the best by stealing it, and Bishop also trying to achieve that goal. And I guess she was the best art thief, right? I guess, and also nobody knew who the bishop was until much later in the movie. So,
Right.
spoiler, it was her.
Right. And then Inspector Das, the inspector or the Interpol.
Interpol, yeah.
She believed John Hartley that he had intel from the bishop that the heist or the egg was going to be stolen by Nolan.
Yeah.
And after that whole scuffle, she ends up going back to John and being like, "You don't even exist. So I'm jailing you because I think you're the bishop, right?" And I'm just like, that was my first, like, I thought she was the most suspicious person because of that. What better way to continue to steal?
Inspector Das?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was
there was a part of me that also thought that she was the bishop. I was like, oh, this is too convenient.
Yeah, way too convenient. And I'm just like, yeah, it's probably her. For sure. It's gotta be. And I was just like, she's way too sharp to just get. I was just like, well, no, because she said the file on John didn't exist. So, it's gone. And John's like, no, it must have been the bishop. I'm just like, bro, she's the bishop. She's the bishop. Wait, where'd you get the intel? Was it an email? Was it in person? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just like, how do you get all this intel? I was like, something's not sitting right. I was like, no. And then they end up going to the jail together, John and Nolan. And interesting enough, they're also in the same cell.
They are.
I'm like, okay, so the lady or Inspector Das already assumed you were gonna be there, or you were gonna go to the same prison, but she made sure y'all sit in the same cell. a little bit convenient. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, hold up. She's the bishop. You see what I'm saying? Everything that
Yeah,
fell
it was
line.
falling in place where
Yeah.
it was definitely looking like you can suspect Inspector Dawes. You see what he did? Inspect.
You can't expect.
You can think that it's her, right? But we find out in the prison after a whole lunchroom fight brawl that goes out. Well, a pretty bad fight, really. Dwayne gets punched and then pretty much ends it right there. But we find out then that no, she is definitely not the bishop because the bishop is Gal, right?
Yeah.
And she, I guess, freaking, I don't know. I guess she doesn't own the prison, but she like kind of. She's got people in her pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she got
the warden,
the payroll.
Warden, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, wait, what? I thought she was the warden. I was just like,
right.
wait.
So did I at first. I was like, wait, you're the warden? That's crazy.
And so I put another piece that I thought together. I was like, oh, so you and Inspector Das are partners in the Interpol, and you hijack or you were able to trap these two guys together. I was like, that's interesting. So I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a battle of the sexes, you know?
Right.
And oh boy, was I wrong. I was wrong.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so other than that issue, okay, so there was about 3 issues in the movie. So you had the first one, which was John and Nolan in prison, and they had to get out. John trying to get his or try to do good on his name. What am I trying to say?
Clear his name.
Clear his name.
He was trying to clear. Yeah.
And then Nolan just was gonna escape because apparently he always escapes. He's like a master escape artist.
He's like a greased hog, hard to catch.
Very hard to catch. It's training for Goku. No. And then the third issue was finding the third egg from Cleopatra.
Right.
Or from the
So in the prison, they get called into the warden's office, and that's when you find out that Gal is the actual bishop, and she's kind of like, "I set you up, John and Nolan. Tell me where the third egg is," because she believed that Nolan knew where it was, right? And he's like, "No, I'm not gonna tell you anything," right? And so they had this whole thing, and she's like, "Okay, well then, if you're not gonna tell me, you can just kind of die and rot here in prison." So
Peace.
Deuces, I'm just gonna go get it myself, and while I become the greatest thief of all time, you can just stay here, right? And then she leaves, and she walks out and whatever, and then they kind of like John and Nolan kind of like come to an agreement. It's like, you know what, we have to work together to get the heck out of here and because John wants to catch the bishop for betraying him, for like setting him up and putting him in prison and whatever. And he needs to clear his name, so they kind of team up reluctantly on John's behalf because he really doesn't. But Nolan's like, "Oh, you love me." Like the whole time he has witty banters, like from the beginning of his like when he comes into the movie until the end, it's just witty banter after witty banter of just like things he was just saying. And one of the things was just him saying, "Oh, you love me, John. You want to be partners with me. You want to do all this stuff with me and all that." Right. So
yeah, that buddy thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they eventually have a plan, which Nolan had a plan from literally the beginning of the prison, right? Where he purposely got John to get in a fight with one of the big ponchos at the prison, so that when the guards came, he could steal their keypad, and he unlocked himself. Eventually, they got out, and then they head towards there because this prison is on the side of a freaking mountain cliff, and there's nothing around. This is in like some part in Russia. It was like in some deep part of Russia, and it's it's on the side of a mountain cliff, and they're like scooting themselves along the edge of the prison. Holy smokes, bro! I was like, heck no, I'd rather stay in prison.
Yeah, right.
I'm not.
And then when John went to go run and catch the helicopter, I was just like, dang, bro. I mean, I guess you have to get out, but I was just like, bro. And it was funny too. Before they even got to the helipad, he goes to Nolan, "Hey, you know how to fly a helicopter?" And I'm just like, how would you?
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I guess you have a profile on him. You know, I was like, okay, never mind, man. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. But then I was just saying, I was like, he did fly the helicopter. I was like, how? Not only did he fly the helicopter, but he shot at the guards.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, what? What can this guy not do? You know?
And then John runs like because Nolan was leaving him. And so he runs after the helicopter, jumps on. He's like, you almost left me. He's like, you said go on without me. He's like, no, I said get out of here. I didn't say leave me behind. and Nolan's like, oh yay, you got on. He's like so depressed that John succeeded at catching up to him. It's like he had like this love-hate relationship for John, while John's relationship for Nolan was just hate. From the beginning, he's like, I just hate you.
This is all your fault. I'm here because of you, this or that.
Exactly.
And I was just like, well, not really. You know, I was just like, you could have caught him earlier, but, you know, it's whatever. I just thought it was, interesting.
That reminds me. So, just to backtrack a little, because I don't know if you know this, right? So, in the Master Egg Hunter is not here with us today, unfortunately. But I wanted to know if he knew this too. So, Randolph, when you watch this episode, let us know in the comments if you caught this, buddy. But in the after Nolan gets the first egg, he goes back to his house in the middle of an island, some private island somewhere, who knows where, right? And John and Interpol is waiting for him there. Nolan grabs a bottle of vodka, and he starts drinking out of it. That is his brand of vodka.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, okay, shameless plug. Put it right here.
Did you see what John or what Dwayne was drinking in the bar before Inspector Das got him? He was drinking his tequila, Terramana.
Oh, you see, I didn't know he had one too.
Yeah.
I just know that Ryan has one because I saw a TikTok where Ryan and Hugh Jackman are like doing a commercial for each other. Everybody knows that they have. If you don't, they have like this love-hate relationship for each other. It's just they're for fun because they love each other so very much. I'm guessing, right? And so, Ryan does a commercial for his coffee brand, for Hugh's coffee brand, and then Hugh was supposed to make one for his vodka brand, right? Ryan's vodka brand, and it's just like it's like. F you, Ryan. He just throws his vodka on the ground. I was laughing so hard. I was like, damn, you're so savage, bro. But that's when I found out that he had a brand. And then when I saw the bottle in the room, I was like, oh, wait, that's his brand right there, sitting there. That's funny.
They totally put those shameless plugs in.
Right? That was pretty cool, though.
Because I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds' drink is a vodka. And Dwayne Johnson's one is tequila.
I didn't know he had one.
Yeah, that's Terramana.
Cool. That's cool.
That's why I was just like, oh, he's drinking Terramana up in there. I was like,
all right, there we go.
I was just like, okay. And then, I mean, in the beginning, you see that it's $7 production is a part of that, and that is Dwayne's production company.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, because he started off with $7, going into like the wrestling, the WWF and so on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh, that's cool.
Like out of getting out of college after an injury, he only had $7 to his name, and he's like, "Yo, I gotta do something." Yeah,
and then he became the people's champion,
the most electrifying person in the world, the millions and millions.
Oh shoot!
See, I mean, finding out that he doesn't use The Rock as much anymore, or maybe he does.
I don't think he minds people calling him The Rock, right? I just think for his acting portion of it, he wants to be known as Dwayne Johnson, right? It's a new chapter in his life, you can say, right?
Yeah, of course.
But so yeah, back to where we were at. Then I just wanted to put that in there. Yeah. Oh wait, one more thing.
Yeah,
one more thing. So there, I think in that same scene where they're at his Ryan's house, right, Nolan's house, he makes a dig at Vin Diesel. He makes a joke of Vin Diesel.
It's Fast and the Furious. Yeah.
And I was just like, wait, did you do that for The Rock? I was like, I got you back, homie.
Yeah. I was just like,
oh, let's hope nobody gets too upset about that, right? Because I know they're. I'm lost in the whole reason between like the feud between The Rock and, or Dwayne and Vin Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that there is one.
It sucks that there is.
Right, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Right, and I know that Vin Diesel was trying to get him back for the next movie or whatever it was, and I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. Whatever.
I don't think so.
But so, and I know that they've been talking. Well, I don't know if talking directly to each other or just through comments through different outlets, and so that whole Ryan Reynolds is like, hopefully he didn't burn a bridge with that statement.
Oh yeah,
because if $7 is one of the producers, that means The Rock said okay.
Yeah, he definitely gave it okay. If he didn't, I mean,
I thought that was hilarious though. I was like, oh dang, all right, there we go.
Yeah. I mean, he's not the writer of this, so you know what I mean.
Right.
Maybe he wrote it, unless that was improv.
It could have been improv.
Yeah. Oh
I can
my.
see it.
Especially if it's from Ryan Reynolds.
Right. I would imagine he could improv
Yeah.
pretty much anything.
Yeah, he can.
And I can see most of his lines all pretty much being improvs in the moment.
And that's crazy that you brought up that part about the Fast and the Furious thing. But here's another thing that I think is kind of strange to think about. I mean, so Ryan Reynolds' character in Red Notice, reminded me so much of Deadpool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you watched the Hitman, the bodyguard, the Hitman's Bodyguard, he also kind of acted like a Deadpool, but in this case, this Deadpool was, that character in Hitman's Bodyguard was more organized and more kind of together. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, all of the stuff when he spoke, the pacing, the beats, the offbeats on when he's talking, they all kind of sound the same. So I have this thing. So now any movie that comes out after Deadpool, it just sounds like Deadpool is playing all these characters and not Ryan Reynolds. And which kind of sets him away from being like this maybe 3-dimensional, I don't know, this actor that can act like a bunch of crazy parts, kind of like Johnny Depp, you know what I mean? Like, but now after Deadpool, it's almost like he reached the point where his stuff will always be known for, and that's all he can is like. I hope he just doesn't get to that point where it's like that's all he can do is just Deadpool type. Because I've seen him in other. I mean, I liked him in like Just Friends. I liked him in The Proposal. Mm-hmm. Actually, me and my band was talking about those movies the other day. But I'm just like, I wonder if his acting will be seen more as Deadpool than it is as Ryan Reynolds. And does that hurt his career? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I don't think it would hurt his career because it's Ryan Reynolds. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Every man's dream, right?
I know what you're saying, and I agree, right?
I wanted you to disagree.
No, I unfortunately I don't. I do agree, but I don't think it will hurt him because the same can be said about Adam Sandler. A lot of his characters are very much the same. Like when he's imitating any character, it's very similar to any other character he's ever done.
Oh yeah. Like, he typecasted himself.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm a huge fan of Adam. I think he's great.
Myself, yeah.
Huge fan, and I think he does a great job. And from what I've heard and seen, a very humble dude, which is pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. But it's never hurt him, right? No, that's not true. It has hurt him because when he did Gem, is it Gem? He did a serious movie like a few years ago. I think it was Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, and it wasn't a great hit, and it was because I think he played a very serious character, and it wasn't his like corny self that he usually plays in all these other movies that he's done. And it was unfortunate for him because I know he really wanted to play a serious character, get away from that
a very
silliness.
silly aggressive guy.
Yeah, but and that's why he did.
Actually, no, they got good praises from critics.
Yeah, but from fans, not as much.
Yeah, the audience, yeah.
Right.
Well, a lot of young.
I think I haven't watched that film of his, but I applaud him for going for a serious role. So I guess in some sense it might hurt him, but in another sense, it really doesn't, because if your fans love what you're doing and then and you're repeating the same thing over and over,
Mm-hmm.
who cares, man? You're still, your fans are still enjoying you. And the same thing with Ryan. I do hear a lot, especially in this one. I did hear a lot of Deadpool, like you were saying, like, oh man, Deadpool. I hear Deadpool wittiness coming out of him and whatever. Yeah. But you know what? I don't see as, oh, this is Deadpool playing. I see it as, this is Ryan Reynolds playing, because Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, right? Or Deadpool is which Ryan Reynolds.
Which makes it, that's why it just makes it a little bit different than normal. You know what I mean? Like if he played Batman and then lost that title to another person and that other person's Batman, but he can only act as that Batman, then it'd be different. You know what I mean? But there's no, Ryan Reynolds is 100% Deadpool. Like there's no one.
No, I agree.
No one.
I agree.
Do it, you know what I'm saying? But
not the X-Men Deadpool, because that was a bad Deadpool. But
it's still him though.
It is, but it wasn't that.
He played all the Deadpools.
It did. He did. But yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, no. Okay, so I was just wondering with that, because being said with the whole the Fast and the Furious thing, I was just like, well, maybe I'll just say let's see what he's gonna do. Like I want to see Ryan Reynolds do another serious film. Oh, man, I'm trying to figure out titles, but I was more focused on that question. I was just like, is he only acting, or can he only act as
this jokish, unserious kind of character?
Yeah. And you did bring up a good point with Adam Sandler, you know what I mean? But yeah, no. That was just one of those things that was on my mind,
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah. And then so back to the movie. So right now we're talking about the eggs. So they all trying to find the third egg.
Right.
Or, well, I guess after going through the whole sotto voce arc of the movie, where, dude, Dwayne gets hit by a bull. I'm like, oh.
By the way, how you didn't get stabbed by one of his horns? You are a literal wall, bro. Yeah. You cannot fit between those two horns.
No.
And you somehow, I mean, I guess you're just,
I think it's swoop. It's
made out of steel.
So like his horns. So if this is Dwayne, I think the horns goes like this and then sweeps them like that, right? Maybe, I don't know. That's how it always looks like when you get rammed, or when someone gets rammed over. That was such a random thing. And then the bishop, with collabing with Soto, and traps them. I'm just like,
yeah, because they go to Soto's house trying to steal the second egg, right, and she's doing all this stuff, and then you're like, dang, it's crazy. And then to come find out that the bishop and Soto have been in cahoots with each other, right? And then she betrays him and poisons him, or just drugs him. I really don't know what was in the drink, but
it was a sleeping powder, I thought.
Yeah,
it wasn't to kill him.
Oh, and they tortured John and Nolan when you find out that the bishop and Soto are like working together. They're like torturing them because they're trying to get Nolan to tell them where the third egg is, and he's like, I'm not going to tell you. He's like, well, then I'm going to torture. He's like, you can torture me all you want. He's like, I'm going to torture your friend. He's like, oh, okay, cool, go at it. So they start electrocuting him. The bishop starts electrocuting him, right? And then she goes, we're going to go downtown. He's like, don't go downtown. No. It like shocks him, and Nolan's just like, oh well, who cares? It's like, it's not me, at least.
You're right. And then he ended up stopping her.
He did
and
eventually.
Like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Another thing that, so it did disappoint me that John Hartley wasn't a freaking beast. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't like some dude that knocks people out.
Right.
He was a profiler. So I'm just like, it was really hard for me to see this humongous guy not really like throw like heavy punches.
That was a comment at the museum too.
Yep.
It's like, this is John Hartley. He's a profiler. It's like, you don't look like a profiler. He's like, what does a profiler look like? Like, it's true, but I guess we all, if you say profiler, you think of a nerdy guy or a nerdy girl or just a nerdy person, with glasses and
tall and skinny,
not buff as hell.
Yeah. I was just like, man, that dude looked like he's training for something.
He's definitely like a bodyguard.
Yeah,
no, he's the profiler.
No, he's the one. That's him.
Yeah, he's the smarts.
You right? And so yeah, like it was just a little bit off-putting where Ryan Reynolds just, still. I mean, he was a very evasive, and that's the type of character he can be, and he doesn't have to be a marksman because obviously he plays a lot of marksmen. You know what I mean?
True.
But yeah, it was just really off to see The Rock not throw like heavy punches or like suplexes or throw a character to the other side of the room. You know what I'm saying?
The people's elbow.
Yeah,
None of that.
yeah, the rock bottom. Didn't all get to experience that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So then as they're torturing, Nolan finally gives up the position or the location of the third egg, which is in Egypt, right? And then so she leaves. That's when she drugs Soto, and she's like, "Deuces, I'm gonna go get this thing," and she leaves or whatever. And then they get out. Then that's when the Rock gets freaking slammed by the bull, and you're just like, "Dang, bro, how you even live through that?"
I was like, "How'd you even get there?" But I'm just like, "Oh, geez." I was like, "You couldn't hear somebody going like, like you know what I'm saying?" Like because they showed up
inside. There was like a trap door in the middle of the Matador arena.
Yeah. And I'm just like, did they not hear something going on? Like
right.
And I didn't understand that they were getting hit because they were dressed in white and black.
Yeah, they were.
But the whole arena was red.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is interesting. I was like, red notice, right? I guess since they have since Nolan has a red notice out on him,
Yeah.
That's what the bull saw. But instead of hitting Nolan, he hit John.
Yeah.
Messed up.
Well, and Nolan can say, "Don't move. Don't move. They're attracted to movement. Don't move." And he's just standing. And then the bull's like, are you sure? And like the bull's like getting ready to charge. Like, no, I'm sure. Don't move. And then he gets freaking tackled by the bull. And he's like, "Don't move, huh?"
Yeah, dude. Because he's just like, "We're good. We're solid. We're solid."
Yeah,
dude. So funny.
So then, we find out that Nolan actually gave her the wrong information, and it's not in Egypt. And that because Nolan the entire time, because John knows him because he's a profiler, and he kind of already figured out who he is and what's his problems, why he's broken as a human being, as we all are all broken in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
And it was all because Daddy's approval.
Yep.
Right.
For both of them.
Yep. Yeah. And so, Nolan's dad was kind of also like a treasure hunter. You can say. He wanted to find.
No, he was a police officer.
He was a police officer, but he also liked treasure hunting because he
was like a collector,
he really wanted to find. He found out that the Nazis had the last egg, and that was the last time anybody knew about the third egg, which was the Nazis held onto it, right? And then during when the regime fell, which is a true fact. I don't know how many people know this. A lot of Nazis traveled to Argentina. I don't know why to Argentina, but there is a lot of Nazi paraphernalia. Is that the word?
Drugs?
No, not that word. What is the word when you have this Nazi stuff? There's a word familia as well as the last part of that word.
Memorabilia?
Memorabilia. Yeah. That's the word.
Okay.
Memorabilia. Dictionary words, man. They're whatever.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
Memorabilia. There is a lot of Nazi memorabilia in Argentina. I
did not know that.
One of the theories is one of the conspiracies, I'm going to say, is that Hitler never died. Right. And that there's a whole documentary about this I think it was on Netflix. It's like Hitler never died and he actually escaped to Argentina, and that's where he died as an old man. Which super interesting. I thought it was very interesting. I'm like, let's hope that's not the case. Let's hope he did die. I mean, it's not like he continued doing anything horrible after that because he was defeated. But that's a whole different story. So Nolan somehow finds out that it is in Argentina, and that's where John and Nolan go to see if they can find the last egg.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that's when they find that hidden bunker.
Yeah.
And they see the dope car. I was just like, that's a sweet.
The Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
But the key to get into that bunker was the most nuts twist for me in that whole movie because he was just like, "Oh, that stupid watch, this and that." We only hear about it in the prison and earlier, and then later on he brings it out, and then he goes, "Watch," and then he literally just takes the thing off and then puts it in. I was just like, "Now that's why the dad was. That's why the dad was being such a freaking dick about it."
Yeah, because he talks about how his dad like hated him, and it was because he accidentally lost, the dad thought that Nolan stole his watch, right? And then the dad never spoke to him for a whole year, and then the dad finally finds it in his drawer at work, and then he has it on, and then but he never apologized to Nolan about accusing him for stealing it or anything. And that's when Nolan's like, you know what? I guess if people want to think I'm a bad person, I'm just going to be a bad person and a thief. That's why he became a thief, right? So there was that whole thing about that's why he had like daddy issues, I guess you can say.
He became the person that his dad didn't thought he was. A
thief, right? Which is funny.
Freaking cold, man. Right?
But the reason why he was so upset about the watch because the watch was the secret to finding the treasure
of his father.
Yeah. And that was crazy. So he puts the watch into the big safe gate thingy, and then turns it, and then it opens up, and they go inside. There's just millions upon millions of dollars worth of memorabilia there, right, from the Nazis.
Just a huge collection of items.
You kind of look at it, and I was thinking to myself, it's like, dang, that guy's rich forever. But then it's also, against the law to own any Nazi memorabilia, like treasures. Right? Yeah, treasures that Nazis have it's illegal to have. Which I was like, oh man. The messed up part of that though is all of that is going to go to a museum, and they're going to make millions off of it. Just saying. You can't have it.
Yeah.
But
unless you open a museum.
Right.
Yeah. It's like I am opening a museum.
And guess who's right behind them?
Inspector Das.
Well, before that.
Oh, the bishop.
The bishop. She didn't believe him at all when he said that it was in Egypt, right?
Yeah, I knew that she was going to be there.
Yeah,
it was uncanny. She's like, I had to follow you. in their beautiful, beautiful accent. It's an Israeli accent.
Yes.
Because she's from Israel.
Yes, she is.
My name is Israel.
Wow, it's like match made in heaven, except she's already married and has 3 children. And I'm pretty sure she's happily married.
Bringing up marriage here.
I'm just talking about her, bro.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, back to the movie. Inspector Das ends up behind them, and I'm just like, how did she know? And I guess she had a tip from the bishop. And I was like, why are you listening to the bishop as well? Inspector Das, the main villain.
The main villain. I mean, the sidekick villain.
Right. Yes. I was just like, I know you and Bishop are sleeping in the same bed, along with Sotto Voce. Okay.
Sotto Voce must be a happy man.
Yeah, he must be. Yeah.
Well, he was a happy man.
What was it? He gets jealous easily because he's like,
because he has a Napoleon. Napoleon.
Complex.
Complex. Yeah.
And he's like a short dude, but he's like alpha.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know if that means a short alpha dude, but I guess just to put dominance.
You don't know what that is.
I don't.
You don't know. You've never experienced that. You are not a short man. You are tall.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say thick, but no. So anyway, Inspector Das and the bishop, along with the two, John and Nolan, are they're in a high-speed chase in
a gunfight.
In a gunfight, yeah. In a big old tunnel that you can go about 70 plus miles per hour.
It was a mining cave.
Yeah, they were in the mine shaft. Yeah,
crevasse. Shaft.
Yeah, and then they're just like, I was like, oh wow, a convenient waterfall. I was just like, huh? And let me tell you, when that scene came up, when Ryan Reynolds goes to look for John, this is when Ryan Reynolds actually was just like, you know what, I'll believe in you, dude. Like, you're the man. This is when I was just like, yes. And I was just like, I wonder how long or how much time we got left. And I didn't mean to, but I hit when I was watching it on Netflix, I hit my mouse, and then it just showed me a little bit. I was just like, oh. It's almost done. I was like, wait. And then it happened.
The twist. The real twist.
The real twist. John and the bishop
are the ones really sleeping in bed together.
For real. And that was weird to see on screen. Gal Gadot kissing Dwayne Johnson.
It was, wasn't it?
It was. Only because, like,
a little bit of jealousy, I think.
No. Well, I guess that could also be it. That wasn't on my mind, though. I was just like, I was just like, only because there's size difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude is massive.
That's true,
okay?
too. That's
like,
true, too.
It's like her, she's like, it looks like she was kissing, like, a door. Like, a door.
With no offense.
No offense, Uncle DJ. But, yeah, I was just like, yo, he's huge. But, I mean, it would have been better if, like, she was in his arms or something like that. But, like, you know, they did one of those, like, you know, like, come here, baby, kind of kisses. I was just like, wow, that looked weird. But I was just like, okay, wow, how dare you, John? I thought you and Nolan was going to, you know, be like this thing where you guys would be partners. And then you have to arrest him. And then he ends up leaving the cuffs and you laughing at him leaving. And then credits. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But no.
He
had to make out with the bishop. He's all like, and then he goes to Nolan. He's like, yeah, there's 2 bishops in chess. I was like,
that was a clean line. That was a clean line.
You're right, 100%. But I was just like, yeah, but if you think about it, Nolan's the queen. He can go anywhere, everywhere. He can freaking fly helicopters. He lives off grid. But obviously, it takes a freaking nation to find that dude.
Yeah.
Or Interpol, so to speak.
Yeah.
Nuts, dude. I was just like, I don't know if I was like, I wouldn't call them better than him. I just know that.
Yeah, because he does it by himself.
He does it by himself. Yeah, he didn't need any of them.
Yeah.
Because he's always known. I was just like, oh, jeez. Frick. I was just like, he was the closest to getting all 3 together and then getting this massive payout, which in the end didn't even matter.
Yeah.
Because what was more important to the bride? It wasn't the eggs.
For Ed Sheeran. So they get all 3 eggs and they sell it to this guy, right? The dad of this couple that was getting married. And he's like, oh, for the first time in thousands of years, these 3 eggs have been united. And he shows it to his daughter who just got married. And she's like, oh, that's cool. And then Ed Sheeran's like voice comes out of the background and he starts to say, she's like, Ed Sheeran.
Yeah. Totally.
He's like, screw the egg.
Yeah. Who cares?
And then he starts getting, and then Interpol comes in, right? Because he has all 3 eggs, the father of this bride, right? And so Interpol comes in, starts arresting everybody, and then the 2 of the Interpol officers grab Ed Sheeran's like, let go of me! You know who I am? I was on Games of Thrones. It's like, bro, that's what you pull as a calling card. Like, you're on Games of Thrones, not that you're Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I know, right, dude? And then and he uses guitar to hit him. I'll just say, oh, this is tight. This is hilarious.
If he's gonna hit you with the guitar, you know, for real.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you in the C chord. You know, but oh man, yeah, no, the Ed Sheeran part was hilarious. I was just so like, wow, that just makes the egg so anticlimactic,
right?
And then you see The Rock and Gal Gadot just like. Whatever. We got paid.
Right.
We out.
Yeah. I mean, and in the end, that's what they want. They want to get paid. They don't care about the treasure. I mean, they do care about being able to say that we're the ones that got it. But in the end, a bunch of eggs do nothing for you, right? It's the money you can get out of it, which was a crap load of money.
100%.
So I have a question for you then. When did you like go, oh, shoot, John and the bishop are working together? Was it right there at that moment when they were at the beach? When they kind of like already show that they are?
To be honest, I didn't really suspect John at all. I expected
you were 100% sure it was Inspector
Das. Yeah, I thought it was Inspector Das. And then I'm like, how are you there? I was like, well, the bishop. I was like, so they have to be together. And then when I saw the twist, I was just like, oh, okay, but how? And then you know how they do the flash or the montage of how he did it?
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, all of that was there, but I mean,
it was played well. It was
very
done well.
Yeah, it was done well. Like,
I will tell you.
So that's one thing that they did really good on me.
I will tell you, I suspected him in the cave when they started, because what happened was, the bishop comes in and says, "All right, you're gonna give me the third egg, right?" And then Inspector Douse comes in with Interpol, and they're like, "Everybody freeze!" So then, obviously the bishop, John, and Nolan, they get together and they're like, "Oh, we got to get out of here." And then John starts shooting at Interpol. That's when I'm like, if you're really an FBI agent, you wouldn't be shooting at the good guys.
Oh, I didn't even realize. That's right. He did shoot.
And Nolan's pointed it out. He's like, "Why are you shooting at this?" Like, "They shot at me first." And I'm like, even if they shot at you first, you're the FBI and you have a gun in your hand. Guess what you can do right this very moment? You can arrest them both. And he didn't. He went with them on the car. And I'm like, you're looking suspicious. But I kind of just like put it in the back of my head, like, okay, that's weird. I can understand, you're still most wanted and you're trying to escape with your life or whatever. And I was like, so maybe I'll give you the leeway. But then when they showed that they were the couple, I was like, the shooting Interpol gave you away, buddy.
Mm-hmm. And in the end, Ryan Reynolds had to go to jail.
Yeah.
But, of course, you can't hold him.
You can't.
He's an escape artist. And so he ended up having a new hit, and he found The Rock and Gal Gadot. And I was like, there's nowhere on earth that they couldn't hide from him.
Right.
If they could find him, he could find them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so he's like, hey, let's team up. I was like,
well, and to be fair, John and the bishop, right? They kind of made it their known like whereabouts easy to find for Nolan. Because they would say, we were wondering how long it was going to take you to get to us. So they were expecting him to come.
Oh, that's
right?
true. That is true. Yes.
So they knew that he was going to come. And in the end, he's like, hey, let's make it a trio.
Yeah, let's make it a trio because y'all broke. That's what he did. And I got to say, man, that was a great way for Ryan Reynolds to get back at them. They literally lost all their money in one fell swoop.
Yeah, they did. And he finally got what he wanted. It was people to love him.
Yep. And he asked John. He's like, "Hey, so like the thing about your dad?" He's like, "Oh no, that was real. Yeah. I just was better at it."
Yeah. Oh, because John's dad was a thief.
He was a con artist.
Yeah, he was a con artist.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to be better than his dad, so he became a better con artist, which is what he really was. He wasn't really. I wouldn't consider him a art thief. He was definitely the con artist. He was playing the long game for sure.
He had me fooled.
Yeah,
he had me fooled.
me too.
And even though the twist was there, it just looked weirder to me that she was kissing The Rock more than the twist. I was just like, oh, what? Wait, huh?
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. All right. I see. Okay. All right. I see. Lucky.
Yeah.
I mean.
Sorry.
I mean,
Sorry to my wife.
It's
just. Hey,
Gal Gadot was lucky, man. Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah. No, I will say that my wife's like celebrity crush, I guess, is Ryan Reynolds.
Oh.
Which is it's 100% true. And I'm like, hey, you know what? If Ryan Reynolds ever calls you up, go. I'm not gonna hold you back.
But you look just like him. Then you're thinking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
You know, I'll take any lie that makes me feel better.
It's not a lie. No. Well,
now what?
So what did you think of the whole trio thing? Like, did you like it? Did you not like it? Because that was the end. You know what I mean?
I liked the movie. Like, are you talking about the movie? Or
no, I'm talking about just that.
Oh, them as a trio?
Yeah.
I think
that's overkill.
Good. You think it's overkill? I think it would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting because, Ocean's 11 had 11 people.
You're right. Those three remind me of Cowboy Bebop. Spike Spiegel would be Nolan, Jet would be John, and the Bishop would be Faye.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, they even looked the part. Oh, that's weird.
That's true.
But yeah, no, like it was for me. It's cool that they want to team up. However, I was just like, Nolan, you alone can do better. Do better, bro. But hey, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but then he always has to make. He's always gonna have them interfering in everything he wants to do.
True. True.
And there's two of them. I mean, individually he is better. There's no doubt of it. He is better because he was able to do more.
Okay.
Right. But if you have two people coming at you at different angles at all times trying to stop you from robbing things, they're always going to beat you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like they can beat you, but I mean, like
they're not better. I'm not saying they're better.
That's only if they're after you, right?
True, but they probably will be.
Nah, you can just get a bunch of small stuff and just like stack. You just like, stack on stacks. Nah. But what do you think of the movie? Like, overall. Like, what's
you
the
know
grade?
what? I thought it was good. So with all the good things that have been said, I gotta always say my.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
it's the Leo way.
It's the Leo way. It's the way of the Leo.
My only complaint of the movie was, as much as I enjoyed Nolan's character, I think there was way too many like one line puncher kind of like wittiness. Almost everything he was saying was some kind of joke at every moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, there's just so much. It's like it was overdone in that movie. I was just like, oh my gosh, I get it. You can't take anything serious because you're afraid of showing your emotions or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So that was my only complaint. My father-in-law was telling me, he's like, man, that character was annoying. And I was like, I'm not. I kind of agree with you. It wasn't quite an annoying character, and it wasn't because he was, who he was. It was just because he kept just saying so many jokes, and it was like just too many jokes in one. And that's really my only complaint. If it was just a few less jokes, it would have been a really good movie.
Well, what's the grade then?
Oh, I give it. I get a B. I give it a B.
It's a good one. All right. For me, we could use a lot of Inspector Das because she was gorgeous in there as well. I forgot, but she was in Umbrella Academy as, I think, Lila, and she could fight.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, dope. But she was, when she was there, she was mostly with her men, and trying to apprehend everyone, like Nolan specifically. So I would have loved to see a little bit more of her. So if there is ever a second one, please come back to the movie because you were great. Love your character. I also loved how she was very efficient on all of her information. I was just like, because I thought she was the bad guy. And so I was just like, how are you always there? How does it? I was just like, I was like, oh, they're bringing you along. They're stringing you along. It's kind of. But then I'm like, you let this FBI profiler come in the beginning, and then literally not even like a day, or I guess a couple hours later, you find out that he's not legit. You know what I mean? I'm just like, okay, you know what? You're pretty legit. I like that. So maybe, she teams up with another, I don't know, FBI or Interpol, and this dude is like goofy or something like that, or like similar to like the Monk, or maybe Detective Conan Edogawa. But anyway, for my or actually, wait, did I say anything I didn't like? What I didn't like of it was the lack of
beat downs,
yeah. Specifically from The Rock, because like when you see that, like when you see him big like that, yeah. So like I don't know if I would ever want him to lose mass for a role, but it might change his dynamic instead of being like this powerhouse dude. But yeah, that was probably my only thing, was that there wasn't any throwing around of people or knocking them out with a single hit. So I'm gonna give this movie a C+.
C+.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a C+. And yeah, I forgot the other thing that I didn't really, or that I was trying to like get over, and the fact that Ryan Reynolds' character sounded way too much like Deadpool, so it didn't seem like a different character. So that was another thing. So that's where my C+ it lies. So those are the two things, and it's funny, it deals with the two of the three main actors. Gal Gadot played an amazing character.
I agree. She did.
Yeah, she had everybody fooling.
We didn't talk very much about her, but she deserves her credit because she did a great job.
Yeah, she could play a Carmen Sandiego.
I can see that.
Dude, that'd be so dope. That'd be so dope. But I don't know. I would like it. I would like to see it. But that wraps up this episode. Thank you to White Wong Media. New episodes every Wednesday. And don't forget to like and follow our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Listen to our podcast anywhere through Anchor FM. Like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the links are down below. Thanks again for tuning in. See you next time.